Hi there. So what is a talking stick? I get asked that question a lot. Now these beautiful symbolic tools have been cherished for a long time as a way of encouraging respectful communication. Indigenous cultures around the world, especially in North America, Canada, Australia, and some Akan communities in Africa, have used talking sticks for literally hundreds of years. They're typically brought out during gatherings, ceremonies, and council meetings where the talking stick grants a permission to speak to the person holding it. Now, people share their thoughts and feelings openly, whilst everyone else has to listen compassionately and, importantly, without interruption. Once the person has had the stick is then passed to the next person, usually in clockwise fashion to reflect the movement of the sun. If when handed the stick you don't wish to say anything, then that's fine too. You simply pass the stick on to the next person in the group. Eventually, once everyone has had their chance to have their say, to speak from the heart, a decision is made and the stick will have served its purpose. Using a talking stick in that way is a great way to ensure that everyone's voice is heard and valued. My sticks are intended to have an even more personalised meaning than the traditional sticks because they are made with individuals in mind. More about that in a minute there. Traditional talking sticks are often embedded with meaningful artefacts based on something called animism. And this is an ancient belief that all things in the natural world, including animals, rivers, wind, rain or sun, even inanimate objects like rocks, possess a spirit of their own, or a soul. So, for example, if an eagle feather was attached to a stick, it's from a Harris Hawk, by the way, this would represent high ideals, truth and freedom of speech. Attaching rabbit fur, on the other hand, would symbolise fertility, abundance and new beginnings. Coloured beads, such as these, not just seen as decorative objects, but powerful symbols that connect individuals to their spiritual beliefs. See the 4 colours of the medicine wheel represented by those 4 big beads at the bottom there. Now, I strongly believe there's still a place for talking sticks in our modern world, whether at storytelling circles, family gatherings, board meetings, or classrooms, or just as a way of remembering a loved one. I take the original concept of a talking stick and then take it a step further by adding adornments, especially beautiful crystals, which help me to personalise the stick to the eventual owner, or keepers, as I affectionately call them. Sometimes families will come together to contribute to the design of one of my talking sticks, and it's always heartwarming to see the stick being used to encourage family members to speak up from the heart and be heard, especially as a way of talking through some pretty heavy issues. Sometimes I've been asked to embed a gemstone from a piece of jewellery that may have been handed down over the years to the family. And in this way, the legacy of that keepsake can continue on into the next generation. For my sister's stick, for instance, we included a few locks of hair taken from her 2 beautiful daughters and then placed them inside a tiny little silver and glass locket like this one, which was then embedded into the talking stick. Along similar veins, I could hollow out the centre of a stick to contain the ashes of a loved one or maybe a family pet, which is perhaps deeply missed. I've made sticks for couples in need of healing, individuals looking to make positive change to their life. Some people even use my talking sticks in their meditative practice, which is very appropriate. There's something very special, maybe even sacred, in holding a talking stick and knowing that every aspect of its design and adornments reflect you as a person. I'm not sure you can get a much more personalised gift than that, do you? Now, my fascination with First Nation culture was enhanced by many visits to mystical places around the world, but mainly in North America. I was especially moved to see the beautiful crafts of Native students at the Pine Ridge Native School in South Dakota, which is what really inspired us to create a large teepee on our farm in Rutland, where my wife and I used to run and host retreats. And then I began to craft things in wood, igniting a passion I never knew I had. I recognise that I'm not a Native American, so I've poured my heart into creating sticks that resonate with meaning for me and for those I craft them for. I sometimes call them journey or healing sticks to emphasise personal growth and connection. Now, whilst drawing inspiration from tradition, my sticks are very much international, insomuch as I blend together elements from various cultures from around the world, including Celtic, Gaelic, Native American, Asian, and even Chinese beliefs. This creative fusion feels to me to be like a bit of alchemy or magic, if you like, and the unique blend of the adornments added to a stick creates their own organic balance with the unique grain of the wood, building and guiding the final shape of the stick. And what this means is that each and every stick made is one of a kind, crafted with love and intention. I make two types of talking stick. One are what I called themed sticks, where the design symbolises a specific purpose. So you can think here protection, courage, harmony, reconciliation, love and forgiveness, with each adornment carefully chosen to connect and emphasise that powerful word. Then there are what I call my custom sticks, which are tailored for a specific owner. These sticks reflect the keeper's own personal journey, and they help them to connect or maybe reconnect with their authentic selves. For my themed sticks, I select wood from trees that align with the chosen theme. So for instance, for a stick I recently made called Protection, I chose wood from a holly tree, which is historically seen by the ancient Celts as a guardian, which is why they often planted it next to their homes. With custom sticks, I often make the stick from the keeper's Celtic birthwood. Yes, we all have a birthwood in much the same way as we all have a birthstone. And if you'd like to know what yours is, then just to ping me a message. Sometimes I even join two types of wood together, which is a little tricky. For example, this yin-yang harmony stick combines black ebony with white oak and secured with these walnut dowels along the way. I believe it beautifully illustrates the contrast of dark and light. We can't really truly appreciate the light of day without experiencing the dark depths of night, can we? And just like the dualities of nature, we all have a shadow side, right? All aspects of ourselves can be understood, acknowledged and embraced with the help of a talking stick or healing stick, I believe. Crystals embedded in this particular stick include this obsidian and howlite yin-yang pendant, mother of pearl. We've got fossilised coral, dendritic opal, labradorite here on the back, one of my favourite things, chrysanthemum jasper, white eye agate. All of these crystals were carefully chosen because of their strong associations with protection. So I love crafting things out of wood, and I believe it's important to celebrate the authenticity and natural beauty of the wood itself. So I never ever apply any special finishes like lacquers or stains to my sticks. I just allow the natural grain of the wood. It deserves to shine through in its natural form with the silky tactile richness of each piece, revealing itself through hours and hours of gentle hand sanding. This is a piece of limewood shaped in readiness to become a curvy, water-themed talking stick called impermanence or mujo, after being inspired by Japanese art, an example of which is Hokusai's Great Wave of Kanagaya, which you've probably seen. Here's my version of Hokusai's Great Wave in the form of two roughly cut out supporting mounts. I'm looking forward to embedding this 1970s Japanese coin showing Mount Fuji, which features prominently in Hokusai's original woodblock print. I might have to add a couple of tiny little fishing boats too, which also figure in that print. We'll see. Now, the first time you hold your stick, the natural oils from your hand will pass from your hands to the wood, and this completes the personalisation process of the talking stick to you. And this personal connection, I believe, is a beautiful part of the journey. For a custom stick, our collaboration generally begins with a conversation. I'll share some thoughts and questions to guide you towards the perfect design for you. Take, for example, what lies beneath the stick here, which is a captivating piece of walnut with the bark left on one side of it. It's adorned with a almost, well, it is hidden actually in there, a quartz point and a delicate medicine wheel wrap, tiger's eye, bumblebee jasper, and more and more and more. It just reminds us to seek deeper connections in everything and everyone we meet. Most of my sticks are made for family and friends, but I do undertake a few commissions as well. I find it helpful to discuss the budget early on if we do that. If you want specific crystals, and most people do, some of those can be expensive. Palisite meteorite here, which contains a little olivine crystal, costs about £100. So it's important that we keep the conversation open and continuing. With every talking stick, the keeper receives a written narrative, like this one, which gives the title of the stick, the keeper's name, and a description of all the meanings of the adornments added to it. Each stick is also numbered and has a certificate of authenticity. Having crafted some 20-odd something talking sticks over the last decade, I guess you could say they're quite rare, which I believe adds to their charm and might explain their growing value. So if you have an important event coming up, or you wish to celebrate a wedding or a birthday, or the anniversary, or a loved one who may have passed, including maybe a pet, and you feel inspired to ask me to make you a talking stick, then let's start the conversation. Thank you for watching.